would stop an attack?
Sure, he could turn over every single bit of his chemical weapons to the international community in the next week, but he isn't about to do it, and it can't be done, obviously.
What one U.S. official initially called an off-message comment by Kerry, it bore the proposal from Russia that the president has yet to endorse.
It's too early to tell whether this offer will succeed, and any agreement must verify that the Assad regime keeps its commitments. But this initiative has the potential to remove the threat of chemical weapons without the use of force, particularly because Russia is one of Assad's strongest allies.
Now, France has issued a statement saying that it remains ready to punish the use of chemical weapons by the Syrian regime. Paris is also drafting a resolution to present to the UN Security Council, and according to Reuters, the initial draft demands that Syria declares all its weapons within 15 days and open all sites for inspection. But remember, draft resolutions involve substantial negotiations between members of the Security Council. Now, the Turkish government supports military action, but the opinion within the country is divided. Anti-war sentiments appear to be growing. Ivan Watson reports from the province of Hatay, where a clash between police and protesters turned deadly.
A mother half mad with grief. This woman's 22-year-old son, Ahmet Atakan, died Tuesday morning after attending protests against the Turkish government and its strong support for military intervention in neighboring Syria. My son protested against war so there would be peace, she screams. In Turkey, they kill those who want peace. This was the scene before dawn on Tuesday when riot police clashed with demonstrators in this city near the Syrian border. Police later released this video showing how demonstrators hurled stones and armored vehicles from rooftops. They say this man, briefly seen falling into the road, was Atakan falling from some height. His injuries proved fatal. But eyewitnesses say Atakan was not killed by a fall. This man tells us a police armored vehicle turret shot Atakan in the head with a tear gas canister at close range. Atakan's blood still stains the pavement where he was wounded. This isn't the first time this has happened here. Just 3 months ago, another young man from the neighborhood, Abdullah Jomert, was killed during clashes with Turkish police. It happened just 2 blocks away from where Ahmet Atakan was fatally injured. The Turkish government says it has launched an investigation into Atakan's death. But everyone we talk to here blames the police. The mourners are chanting, "Murderer, police." Regardless of how he died, the death of Ahmet Atakan, yet another protester killed here in Hatay, will only exacerbate existing political and sectarian tensions and shows how the Syrian conflict across the border continues to destabilize here in Turkey. Turkey's prime minister has been publicly urging the U.S. to launch a military intervention against Syria. But a recent poll shows 72% of Turks surveyed don't want intervention in Syria. And that's especially true in Hatay, where many Turkish citizens are from the same Alawite religious sect as Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and have close family ties in Syria.
Like my half of family, they're living in Syria. So we don't want to go to the war. We don't want to fight with our brothers and sisters.
Grief at the funeral quickly turns to rage in the streets. Another evening of discontent very close to the border with Syria. Ivan Watson, CNN, Hatay.
Now, 4 men convicted of a crime that sparked nationwide protests in India will land their fate on Friday. That's when the trial judge will sentence them for the rape and murder of a woman last year. Here is more.
Early last year, and while the defendants are asking for leniency, protesters gathered outside the court today demanding the men be executed. That call has been echoed by the prosecution and the victims' parents.
We are going to the court with the hope that the convicts will be hanged. We do not want anything other than the death sentence.
This will be very important for Nirbhaya, as well as the entire country, because the nation has struggled for Nirbhaya for the past 9 months.
We now take our second break. And before we go, a reminder of our headline-making stories once again. 7 government departments grappling with mobility problems received donation of vehicles from the head of state. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority and the Ministry of Information and Communications Infrastructure have gathered internet cafe operators and owners to brief them on the new broadband services unlocked by the East Submarine Cable. U.S. President Barack Obama has put plans to punish the Syrian government for the use of chemical weapons on hold, at least for now, as Moscow and Washington tries to reach a disarmament deal. And in India, 4 men found guilty of raping and murdering a woman are to know their fate on Friday. That brings us to the end of the news. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on Grts. Until then, I am Alhaj Abubakar Dabo.
Hello, you're watching GRTS. I am Fatu Jassi. These are the headlines in tonight's edition of your midweek sport show. The Gambia back on winning ways as Scorpions secured a convincing 2-0 win over the Taifa Stars of Tanzania in the last game of the second round of qualifiers for the Brazil 2014 World Cup. Sports Night brings you the highlights, reactions, plus post-match interviews. The Secretary General and Minister for Presidential Affairs challenged stakeholders to unite forces together and build on the positive start of the new GFF era to move football to another level. And the President of the Gambia Football Federation promises more victories for the Gambia as he salutes Scorpions' triumph over the Taifa Stars. Welcome to Sports Night. At last, Gambian football fans have something to smile about. After 2